Hello and welcome back to The Movies Made Us Do It. Me and Matt are back. How are you, Matt?
Pretty good, sir. How are you?
I am I am very well. Um I've seen some films this week, let me tell you. Um
Okay.
yeah. Thoroughly enjoyed, however, going back to last week. Hard boiled, haven't watched it for a while. What
Yeah.
a fucking blast of
We
adrenaline that was.
we did it. We made one omission. We forgot to talk about Stranglehold.
Oh, we did forget to talk about Stranglehold. That's a very good point, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should have
I know.
talked about that next
Funny thing
time.
is, I think we talked about it when we did the Killer actually.
Oh, yeah, maybe we did.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, next time we'll bring it up again.
Yeah. I love that game. I thought it was a great game.
Yeah. I mean, it came after Max Payne had kind of done it, you know.
Yeah.
But it was, yes, it was very good. Very good fun. Yeah, one of the few like tie-in games that was actually pretty good, you know, where they were like, hey,
Yeah.
you know, like they're like, oh, Vin Diesel's gonna release a video game, and you're like, that's a bad idea. That's a bad idea. But somehow John Woo pulled it off. He pulled off a good game, or at least he worked with a good company, you know.
I've never played Escape from Butcher Bay. Have you?
Oh no, that one's good. No, I was thinking of the one he was the Wheelman, I think it was called.
Oh God, I'd forgotten about that. I thought
Yeah.
you meant. I thought you meant
No,
the.
the Reddit games that game's actually that was surprisingly good. That was
Okay, well,
surprisingly
yeah,
good.
I
Actually,
was going to say I thought I heard that was quite good, but I've never played it, so
yeah.
I don't
No,
know.
it's very good.
I
I'm actually
completely
ashamed I
forgot
forgot
about
about
the
that.
other one. Jesus.
Well, I'd forgotten about Escape from Butcher Bay, so there you go. we both forgot. Such is the way of things now. But yeah, do you want to kick us off today?
Sure. So I will start with Song Sung Blue.
Song Sung Blues. This is the Neil Diamond movie, is it?
Mm, sorry.
Is this a Neil Diamond movie or
So
a tribute act movie
it's
or something?
yes, it's
I caught the
a
trailer.
about Thunder and Lightning, a tribute
That's
band to
right.
Neil Diamond.
Okay.
So this was originally or there is originally a documentary about this couple.
Oh right. Okay. So
And
it's a real life couple.
yes, they were a real couple.
Hmm.
And the guy, the director of this, I think it was Craig Brewer, saw that documentary and said, "I'd like to do an actual movie of this."
Hmm.
And approached the relevant people and then said, I'm going to do this, and he got Hugh Jackman on board and Kate Hudson and
Cool.
so we're introduced to Mike, who goes by the name of Lightning, and he's part of this sort of like a touring circuit of sort of cover people.
Right.
He wants to do his own thing. He's
Doing Butlins and the like.
yeah, they're doing like carnivals and things like that,
Right. Yeah. Sure.
and he's currently doing. I know I forget the name of the artist, but it's a Hawaiian guy, and he's really
Okay.
pissed off. He's like, I'm not even Hawaiian. It's ridiculous. I hate this doing this. And
Sure.
he goes to you sort of at the beginning. He goes to this sort of carnival, and the guy who's running it is played by Michael Imperioli, who I
Right.
think I've only ever really seen play gangsters. He's great here. So he's playing. He does Buddy Holly, right? So he
Right.
does Buddy Holly. There's a guy that does Elvis, and there's a guy that does James Brown. And there is Kate Hudson's Claire, who's doing, I think it's Loretta Lynn,
Hmm.
and you see him going into the bathroom, and he's like, he puts on all this stuff, and then he's like, he thinks, fuck this. He comes out in his own gear with his like lightning on it, and the Elvis impersonator's really pissed off because he's like, hey, that lightning bolt's my thing. You can't do that and all that sort of
Oh,
stuff. He's
right. Okay. Yeah.
like, what are you doing? You're supposed to be doing this number. You're supposed to be doing the ballad, and he's like,
Hmm.
no, I want to go on myself, right? And I think it's Kate Hudson sort of looks at him and says, "Hey, why don't you do Neil Diamond?" He's like, "No, I can't do Neil Diamond. That's ridiculous. He's too great a thing. You know, I almost." Anyway, he sort of takes a shine to her and sort of like he keeps thinking about her, and he goes and he watches her, you know, sort of perform and stuff. And basically, he realizes that he can probably do this. He can do Neil Diamond. You know, and there's this sort of running gag which reminded me of that wine movie with
Wine movie?
yeah, you know the what is it bloody called? Is the one where he's like, "I'm not fucking drinking Merlot," and everybody's like talking. You know, oh man,
I don't
you
know.
know the one with Paul
My
Giamatti.
my brain will never get there. We'll
Anyway,
be here for the rest of time.
There's this sort of like slight running gag where basically everybody's like, "Oh, do Sweet Caroline," and he's like, "Not fucking doing. Of course I'm going to do Sweet Caroline. I'm not going to fucking open with it. Everybody fucking talks about Sweet Caroline. It's like he does other songs, you know."
Did I ever tell you about the time I went to Bloodstock and Europe played Bloodstock?
No.
And there was a guy in the audience. You can actually see it if you look it up online. It's 2008, I think. There was a guy in the audience. No, he was stood in the audience with a scrolling fucking light up sign that said "Play the final countdown." It just and he held it above his head the entire fucking show. It was one of the funniest fucking things. Like every time he looked around, he was still holding it. Like, you asshole, because you know they hate fucking playing it as well. They're like, we did so many other songs. Yeah, it's like no, that's your fucking song.
It reminds me of Fish as well. Fish, like whenever people want to interview Fish, they always bring up Marillion, and he's like, "Fucking, I haven't been part of Marillion for years. I want to talk about other things. I've done other albums, you know." It's like, yeah, but you were fucking awesome in Marillion, so can we just talk about Marillion?
Yeah, I don't really get I get it. You've done other stuff and you want to show off your other stuff, but you should always be proud of the songs that made you, right, and the acts that made you and stuff. But anyway, sorry, that was a tangent.
No, it's fine. So anyway, he decides he's going to do it. He approaches her and he says, "Look, you know, why don't you sort of, you know, join me, be my sort of, you know, my helper. You can sing with me." So they that's basically what they do. And then they end up, you know, he's obviously he's divorced. He has children, and she has kids as well. And they end up, you know, together. They become an item. They become married, and they start doing this tour. And I think it's Milwaukee is where they live. They start becoming like really popular, and they start, you know, people come to see them. And there's this wonderful bit where they're sat at home, you know, sort of watching telly and stuff, and he gets this phone call, and the daughter says, "Oh, it's Eddie," and he's like, "Which Eddie?" And he's like, "I don't know, just talk to him." So he starts talking to, he goes, "Hello," he goes, "You want me to make a jam commercial? What? I don't understand what the..." And then he sort of like he puts his hand over the phone and goes, "Who are Pearl Jam?" And he's like, "They're only the biggest. Well, this is the lead singer of Pearl Jam. He wants me to open for them." And they're like, "Oh my fucking god!" So apparently they opened for Pearl Jam during one of the concerts.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's brilliant. So yeah, so then you know it's the all the things that happen to them and these, you know, the awful thing, because there is a lot of sort of tragedy that goes on and it's. I will go, if you don't like Neil Diamond's music, then this is not the movie for you.
Well, of course. I mean, I feel like that's implicit in the, you know.
Yeah. The funny thing is, Song Sung Blue, I first heard that by Altered Images, not by Neil Diamond, which is quite funny. But this I mean, right, for a start, Hugh Jackman is, you know, he's Mr. fucking Showbiz. He does all the...
Of course he is.
He sings, he dances, he does all the stuff. He's charming as fuck.
Yep.
You know, nothing. What surprised me the most is how bloody good Kate Hudson is. And I'm not saying she's a bad actress or anything.
No, I like Kate Hudson, yeah.
yeah, but she is wonderful in this. She
Oh,
is
great.
absolutely brilliant. And there's a, slight spoilers. She goes through a number of some horrible stuff happens to her. She goes
Sure.
and she ends up sort of on meds that don't, you know, sit well with her. They don't,
Okay.
I'm trying to be, I'm
No,
trying
no, no.
to
I get it. I get
stay
it.
around too sort of like spoilery, but her, she is absolutely wonderful when she's completely sort of losing it,
Hmm.
and she's going through all this horrible stuff, and she is so wonderful. And I don't think I don't think she's been this good since, ooh, probably Almost Famous, and that's,
Okay. It's a long
I mean,
time.
she's done a lot of movies since Almost Famous, but I think
Yeah,
Almost Famous she was absolutely stunning in.
yeah. Hmm.
And she surprised me so much with how good she is. And she I'm pretty sure she does her own singing as well, which is really good. And she keeps up with Hugh amazingly. I thought she was great. The guy playing um the Buddy Holly person that impersonator is quite funny. There's a moment where um he's setting up his band and stuff, and he's sort of trying to get everything organized. He's kind of in his bad books because he sort of, fucked him over with, like, by not performing this thing for him and stuff. But he's
Sure.
still his mate, and he turns up at his house sort of thing, and he says, "Look," he says, I'm pretty sick of being Buddy Holly. I've It's just sort of like, I'm 30 years older than Buddy Holly was when he died. I've been carrying this thing for, for too long. I really need to do something else. Can I join your band? And he's really good. It's got a really great, supporting cast. You've got Fisher Stevens, who plays his manager, who was also a dentist, which is really funny because he sort of like, he gives him like advice and stuff, but also like does his teeth and things like that. It's like really funny. He's he When you first see Jackman's character, he's got like this tooth missing, and
Hmm.
he's made this tooth for him that's got a lightning bolt carved into it,
Oh
which is like
God.
which is really cool. And you've got Jim Belushi, who's this promoter. It's like I don't remember the last time I really enjoyed seeing Jim Belushi in not just a
Hmm.
sort of naff turn up role, because I haven't seen him in anything decent for
It's
years,
been a while. Yeah.
and he's really good. And you've got very minor role for Mustafa Shakir, who plays Sex Machine,
Right.
who was the James Brown impersonator, who's great. This is a wonderful movie. It's so fun. It's got some real sort of moments where you're like, oh my fucking hell, this is horrible. There's
Hmm.
one particular scene where it's like, he's a recovering addict. He's a recovering alcoholic, and he's sort of like he's recording this little um film for his AA meeting, because he can't be there for his anniversary. So he's filming this thing, and meanwhile, as the sort of camera pans out to sort of to Kate Hudson's character, who's doing some gardening, and
Hmm.
I won't say what happens, but that was like, what the fuck's going on there? I was like, oh shit. I was like, did that just happen, or was that like like a dream sort of thing? That felt a bit
Right.
weird. And it's like, oh fuck no, that did happen. It's really good. I mean, I knew nothing about this Thunder and Lightning team. They sounded like they were an absolute legends, and they seem to be sort of, real sort of hometown heroes for where they, where they lived, and made a real name for themselves, and it is utterly charming, and I really liked it. And listen, all this, the Hugh Jackman is doing his full, Neil Diamond impression, and it's great. He's really fucking good, and we know he can sing, he can do all that, and he does it amazingly well here. And it's a really good, enjoyable movie that, you might not sort of look at normally as a sort of, because it's a Neil Diamond thing, but it's not. It's really good. Really enjoyed it. It's got some beautiful moments in it, and there's some real sort of unexpected sort of I want to say dream sequences, but there's some sort of like there's some bits where you're like, oh wow, that's great. I know that some of it's it's a one of those, it's a biopic movie, so it's slightly fudged in some places. I believe the Mike had a son that doesn't get fucking mentioned in this movie at all. And I think in real life the guy was a bit pissed off that they sort of glossed over him for some reason. One of the standouts as well was Ella Anderson as Rachel. I don't think I'd seen her before, but she plays Kate Hudson's daughter, and she has some marvelous sort of moments where I think initially she's sort of like a bit wary of Mike and their relationship, but she soon sort of warms to him, and she's wonderful. She she has a little sort of arc that with things going on in her life, and she ends up knowing a secret that Mike has that she's struggling to keep from her mum. It's wonderful. I really liked it. I highly recommend it.
Yeah, sounds great. I will definitely be checking this one out. I saw a movie that I've saved you the trouble of seeing this movie. Although you may end up deciding you want to watch it. I don't know. It could go either way, really. I watched Thrash on Netflix.
Oh, the shark movie.
Or as I am calling it now, Trash. So there is a Category 5 hurricane coming into this coastal town, and the storm surge brings, devastation and untold destruction, and also sharks. Yes, this is the Netflix shark movie, or the current Netflix shark movie. I'm sure they've probably made more than one at this point.
Must be more to come. Yeah,
more to come indeed. Now, I have long said I think there is only one shark movie that was ever needed, and that was Jules. And you did the shark film, and you should have probably stopped there. But people will never stop. I understand that. I'm going to tell you, Matt.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to spoil this movie. What I'm going to do is I am going to tell you the characters we're introduced to in the first 10 minutes of this movie, and then you can assume the entire rest of the film.
Okay.
You ready?
Yep.
So, movie starts, obviously, the storm's coming in, most people are leaving the coastal town, except for some people. Here are the people. Number 1, there is a girl who is her mother's oh no, I'll get to that in a minute, actually. Her mother's died, but we'll get to that in a moment. So there is a girl who is scared of being out in public. Is that agoraphobia or whatever? She can't be, she struggles to socialize. She has panic attacks when she goes outside. There is a pregnant woman who is trying to leave town. She is asked by her mother on the phone specifically, on the phone at the start of the movie, whether she's considered giving birth in water. There are some kids swimming in a lake. One of the boys swimming in the lake states that he has incredible lung capacity.
Oh my God.
There is a marine biologist who is studying strange behavior in bull sharks. Do you think any of those plot points may be relevant in the next hour and a half of this film?
I mean, I guess they probably would be. I mean, I suppose you could say at least they didn't like pull shit out of their asses half.
Oh no! They foreshadowed the fuck out of everything that happens in this movie. When the mother on the video call is like, "Have you considered giving birth in water?" I was like, "Oh my fucking God, really?" Like it wasn't obvious enough that was probably where this movie was going.
Just to sort of make the birth that much more special.
Yeah. So anyway, what follows is what you would.
Where is it set?
It's like a small town. I forget the name of the town. Hang on, I could probably find out for you. It's a small little like coastal town in America.
Okay.
Annieville, South Carolina. I'm assuming it was probably conceived. You remember when they had that big hurricane hitting, the big storm hitting America, and it was all on. There was CCTV of most people should have been evacuating, but you had idiots taking selfies and stuff. Yeah, that I'm assuming inspired this film.
That's just
But
fucking Darwinism for me. If you want to stick around and take fucking selfies in the middle of a fucking... Yeah, that's Darwinism. Goodbye.
Now everyone in this movie leaves, except apparently the whole time, because you never see fucking anyone except for these characters. So pretty successful evacuation. The girl who's scared to go outside stays because she's scared to go outside. The pregnant woman has been told that she has to work, even though she's fucking like about to give birth. She's still working, and she was told to come in work late, so she ends up staying too long and can't get out. The kids,
where?
I can't. Either they didn't say, or I didn't give a shit enough to remember. And the kids are being looked after by abusive foster parents who are basically cashing the check and eating fine steaks in the basement whilst treating their kids like their adopted kids like shit. Basically cashing the checks and living like kings while their kids suffer. So they have no choice because their dad is a redneck who's like, it's just a bit of rain, fuck 'em, we'll stay.
Right, okay.
So they make their reasons as to why people have no choice. Now, there is, I think, some horrendous theme. This is the last thing you need in this kind of movie. This is a movie about sharks eating people.
Yeah.
But about halfway through, I came to realize there is a theme to this movie. And it may shock you. So, the girl who's scared to go outside, her mother just passed away. Her dad died ages ago. Her mother just passed away the last couple of months, which is why she's scared of going outside. We then have a pregnant woman, soon to be mother. We have kids who have been fostered. They've lost their parents. And there is a great white shark, which is pregnant. So I was like, oh, I guess there's kind of a theme to this movie.
Okay.
For some reason. It doesn't go anywhere. Don't worry. There's no point to it. But that seemed to be a theme they were going...
What's it saying? That sharks are better parents than humans are or something?
Well... Yeah, the mother... The great white does save someone in this movie.
Oh, God.
So there is that. This movie is obviously fucking ridiculous from the beginning. And to the film's credit, it's not ever taking itself seriously. Like, so that's good.
Well, that's something, yeah.
Yeah, you do have a little bit. The marine biologist, he is the girl who's lost her mother. He's kind of like, I think he's her uncle or something, and he's kind of like basically adopted her. He's like looking after her and stuff. So he's coming to rescue her. He is the guy in The Day After Tomorrow when they're like, oh God, I guess I've got to walk across frozen America to get my kids. That's what he's doing in this movie.
Is that Damon Honsu's character?
Yeah. Who's way too talented to be in this film, quite frankly.
Do you know, that seems to be like over half of his career.
I know, and it's criminal because he's really good.
Yeah, he's stuck in movies that he has no business fucking being in.
None at all. Like
better stuff.
And that's the thing. When he's on screen, you are like, God, this should have been a much better movie. And frustratingly, I do feel like, as a slight tangent, I do feel like they almost had. When I started watching this movie, I knew it was going to devolve into kind of trash. But I thought they had something in the character Dakota, who has this agoraphobia. I was like, there's an interesting film, not this fucking film, but there's an interesting film about an evacuation for something, and then you've got someone who just is terrified to leave the house, and you just are a prisoner of your own phobias in a time of crisis. I was like, there. You know, a better director, a better writer, a better team could have made a really interesting film. Oh, there may be. I don't know.
I'm sure I've seen a movie where there's a girl that has similar issues, and there's an evacuation warning.
Well, maybe they ripped it off and made a really bad shark movie.
Well, I don't remember there being sharks in it, but
no, I imagine not. So, like I said, this movie knows it's being silly, and it doesn't take itself too seriously.
Well, that's okay. At least that.
It's proper trash, but it knows it is, and I would be lying if I said I didn't have fun laughing at it. It's fucking ludicrous. There is a moment towards the end where they go full Sam Raimi for one moment, and it was like, you
Okay.
should have done that the whole film. That would have actually that might have worked. But it's only for like one or two scenes, and it's like you really should have leaned into that, I think.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a terrible movie. but it is entertaining. I cannot deny that it was entertaining for the time that I watched it.
Yeah.
I'd pretty much written the entire film in my head after the first 10 minutes, thanks to the character introductions.
Yeah.
All of the things you assume would happen. And yeah, not much more to say about it, really. Yeah, there's some great scenes, like the adopted kids. Their foster parents obviously get killed off, and then it's just them. And there's this scene where the sharks are outside in the street, and the front door's open, and there's this tense scene where the girl's trying to close the front door. They apparently forgot that when we first go back to their characters, the mum and dad are sat in the living room, which has a like plate glass window the size of the entire half of the house, which collapses in and floods the place with water. And you're like, the sharks could get in anyway. Why are you concerned with this one door? like, I don't know why. You're like, okay. But like I said, the movie knows it's stupid. Is it terrible? Yes. Is it trash? Yes. Is it entertaining? Kinda. So I don't really know if that's much of an endorsement, but it's short and it's terrible, but it is quite funny in places.
Is it somewhere between Sharknado and the Meg then? Is it?
Yes, it's definitely better than the lowest bar of Sharknado,
right.
And it's not as good as the pretty terrible Meg either.
Yes.
Meg had Jason Statham being entertaining, so
Meg had Jason Statham kicking a shark.
It didn't. That was the biggest problem. I wanted him to kick a fucking shark, but he didn't. That was that film's biggest failure, was that they didn't have him roundhouse kick a shark. That would have been great. But yeah, it is proper silly trash.
I saw the trailer for that, and I kind of then completely forgot about it existing. So I probably wasn't going to plan on watching that one.
No, well, you don't have to now, so there you go. Saved you the trouble. Anyway, what else have you watched?
So I watched The Martini Shot.
The Martini Shot.
So this apparently was filmed in 2023.
Well, do you know, it's funny. It's funny because I have a film from 2023 to talk about too in a bit.
Okay. Well, so this was done to me, and I think it was sort of held back for a while. It did the sort of the festival circuits and all that sort of stuff, but it was back for a while. So this is Matthew Modine plays Steve, and you've got appearances by John Cleese, Derek Jacobi, Stuart Townsend, who I don't remember the last thing I saw Stuart Townsend in.
Yeah, I was going to say I saw the cast. The cast was super amazing.
Yeah, you got Jason London, Fiona Glascott, and Morgana Robinson, which I think was one of the more surprising ones for me. So this is about Matthew Modine's character Steve, who is a film director who is has a terminal illness.
Right.
He's basically going to die, so he decides that he's going to make one last film. So he gets his sort of PA lady, who he clearly has a sort of thing for, but there seems to be this unrequited sort of thing going on.
Mm-hmm.
And he sort of also has this sort of estranged relationship with his daughter. And he's in Ireland, and he's decided that's where he's going to do it. He's going to film this thing in. Okay, so this is where it gets wacky.
Right.
So the first thing he does he goes to see a therapist, and this therapist, he's talking to this male therapist, and he then speaks to his PA and he says, "Hey, can we cast this therapist? I'm not feeling this one." And he's like, "What?" She says, "You want a female then?" He's like, "Yes." So then suddenly Morgana Robinson is there as his female therapist.
Right.
And then later, a little later again, he's talking about, hey, who do you want, to be starring this? Oh, I was thinking of Philip something, the Stuart Townsend character. And he's like, he's dead. He's like, that's okay, that's fine. Stuart Townsend's character turns up, he's dead, but apparently he can just turn up and be this thing. So this is a very existential movie.
Clearly.
Yeah, and I think probably like spoiling it a little, if not, but it kind of suggests that Matthew Modine is God and not just a film director.
Okay, well, but this is topical for today's show, I think.
Yes, it did. I watched this before I watched
right
the other one.
Yeah.
And but this is a lot weirder actually, and a lot of fun. It's basically got Matthew Modine running around a lot and sort of being quite manic, and he seems to be sort of channeling James Stewart from It's a Wonderful Life.
Oh wow, okay.
Which I really quite liked.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed his sort of his character, and he sort of he keeps John Cleese is his doctor, and he keeps sort of turning. He keeps sort of he doesn't sort of go places so much as he just sort of appears there. And he's sort of, suddenly he'll be in the doctor's office, and he'll be talking to them. And John Cleese it's a very small role, but he crops up a couple of times, and he's just this belligerent sort of doctor who's quite funny. It's kind of just him being John Cleese, really, but it's really quite funny, and there's a really good sort of dynamic. There's a wonderful bit where his Mary is his sort of PA, and he says to her, I want to put Errol something in this Errol actor. He goes, right, so where is he then? He goes, okay, well, they're in this church, and he says, oh, he's been here since 1995 apparently.
Right.
So this is Derek Jacobi's role, and he's an actor who clearly died a long time ago, and looked as though he was Steve's mentor. It seems to sort of suggest. And it's just Derek Jacobi being utterly wonderful again, and just reciting some Shakespeare and having this sort of this moment where he talks about not having said what he wanted to say to his son.
Right.
And there's this beautiful moment where suddenly they're in this sort of ruined church, and Jacobi's in a bed, and he starts talking about how he loves his son, and he had this sort of thing with it, but he never said it. He never really told him how much it was, and by the time he came to sort of do it, it was too late. He died.
Right.
And you get this sort of wonderful sort of monologue from him, and then you get this moment where they're like walking along, and it's sort of like, oh, I think he's like, oh, I think it's time to go now, and they're talking about life and death, and what certain things mean, and he says about family and stuff like that, and he sort of turns around, and there are his family at this dinner table, and it's just weirdly wonderful, and it's I think it's certainly been described as pretentious, which it kind of is.
I imagine, yeah.
Yeah, it kind of is. And the pretentious bastard in me absolutely adored it. I really loved it. I love a movie that makes you think about stuff. That
I agree.
Stays with you. And this movie, this movie really did make me think about. I mean, not that I need any encouragement to think about mortality.
No.
Yeah. As a I'm not old, but I'm older, and you think about these things, and I
you definitely do.
I personally have had a bereavement myself, so these sort of things come to you, and this is, I think it's beautifully done. It's got wonderful shots of Ireland, and everybody's doing great. You know, these great little roles that just sort of seem to sort of just have a charm to them that I really enjoyed. There was, you know, you've got this Stuart Townsend's character, this sort of dead actor who is kind of mourning himself and his own. You know, he's sort of like, why did you bring me? He sort of says to him, why did you bring me back? Why am I here? You know, I
Yeah.
know I wasted my talent, and I know I did. You know, I know all these drugs, and he tries to kill himself again. And he's like, but you're dead. It's like it's it's so weird, but so lovely, and I really enjoyed it. And I can only recommend it clearly to people who would want to go with this sort of thing, because this is not your average movie goer is not going to get on with this at all. It's not.
Sure. Yeah.
It doesn't have a sort of a linear plot in that sort of way of you know, it's more about, you know, perceptions of things and how we deal with stuff, and a kind of that sort of idea of you know, self and
Yeah.
the circumstances beyond us, and that's, you know, that sort of stuff.
Sounds really interesting.
It really is, and again, we were just saying earlier on about you know, actors doing wonderful things that you hadn't seen them really wrong. Matthew Modine, don't think I've seen him in anything great for a long time. You know, he's
been a while.
I mean, he was fine in Stranger Things and stuff like that, and I've seen him in the other thing. But here he's like got this full white beard, and
yeah, I saw the photo. Yeah,
he's running around sort of manic, and sort of it you know, he feels like he's trying to get something done, but he's also sort of talking about the circular nature of the universe and all that sort of stuff. And yes, that all does sound very fucking pretentious, and it is. But I think if you just go with it, it's really lovely, and I really, really enjoyed it thoroughly. And I mean, I'm not sure how this will fit into the sort of, like, you know, films of the year like thing, but I enjoyed it so far that I think this is a contender for my film of this year so far.
Oh wow! Well, I will definitely check it out then.
Yeah, it's just a lovely, weird movie that it's, again, it's and I think I always say this when I see these sorts of movies. It's just it's a movie that shows you can do great things with interesting ideas. You know, it doesn't have to be, you know, a full on, like, normal story. It doesn't have to be, you know, but you can do something sort of special and different. And yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I recommend it to anybody who likes a bit of weirdness and likes a bit of sort of thoughtful filmmaking. And so yeah, go for it if that's your bag.
Yeah, that sounds great. I will definitely check that out, especially if it's going to be a film of the year contender for you. That's awesome. What else? Oh yeah, where should we do?
Yeah, let's do Carpenter's Son.
Yes, let's do Carpenter's Son, starring Nicolas Cage, Noah Jupe. Well, so this is a film set in Roman Egypt.
Yep.
About not Jesus and not Noah and not Mary.
It is.
Well, they don't say who it is.
Well, he does call him Joshua, isn't it? Joshua, isn't he?
Yeah, it's a boy with mysterious powers. No, it's clearly
it's taken from the Infantry Gospel of Thomas.
Very loosely, yes.
Yeah, which is one of those ones that's it's a
heretical. Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of the
Or deemed
gospels that
heretical
isn't
anyway.
sort of deemed as a real gospel, or
Yeah, yeah. So this is a weird one.
Mm.
I'm gonna be honest, this is a weird one.
Well, basically, it's kind of it's about the sort of the sort of wilderness years of Jesus, because
Oh no, the
in
story,
the
sure.
Bible,
I mean the
yeah, well,
movie. It's
in
a
the
weird
Bible,
one.
Jesus goes from being a kid to like 30
Yeah, yeah,
without
yeah.
really explaining the middle bits, and this kind of those gospels kind of explain those,
Yes.
and that's what this does.
It's kind of what this is trying to do.
Yeah,
And I agree. It's not the concept isn't weird. I just find the film a bit weird. Because
yeah,
I don't dislike the idea.
no,
I'm just not sure. Like I guess I guess it's a horror movie, kind of,
yeah.
but
They
not
clearly
quite. Like
they clearly wanted to make a
yeah.
more of a horror movie. I mean, it's down as folk horror.
Okay, I vaguely yes, I can kind of see that.
So yeah, the the thing for me is,
Mm.
um, it felt like they couldn't decide on the tone.
I 100% agree. It always felt like something wacky was about to happen, and then it doesn't really happen, and then
Yeah,
it kind of moves on to the next thing. And you've
hmm
got, I get it because they didn't, obviously they're not doing it in the original language or anything,
no,
but you have got a lot of like straight almost British accents, and then Nick Cage walking around as Cameron Poe, and you're like, what? What is going on with the
yeah,
accents in this movie? I guess it doesn't matter, but it does feel very weird in places because he's like clearly American the whole time, and a lot
yeah.
of other cast members are not.
I mean,
Um,
I will say we both utterly adore Nick Cage.
and do you
Love.
know, I love him in this for he took it so seriously. Every scene.
Oh, I mean, I can't fault his actual acting.
No,
I
no,
just
he's
don't
giving it
think
his all.
he wasn't the right
Oh god,
choice for this.
he's such a bad fit.
Yeah,
Like it's hilarious how bad a fit he
he's
is.
he's he's far too modern.
Yes,
You know,
even his language feels modern.
yes,
It's
it doesn't feel
bizarre.
like yeah, he feels very. I mean, FK Twig, is it FKA Twigs?
Yeah,
She doesn't get enough to do, to be honest. She just gets to sort
no,
of stand around moping,
for the most
and
part.
occasionally she sort of says the odd thing. But she's what little she does have is I thought was well done. I mean,
Well,
even as you said, Cage is doing his best, but he just doesn't fit. It
no,
feels weird.
it's a
But
strange one because there are bits of this film I liked. I didn't
yeah,
outright hate this movie. It's not like I thought, oh, this is terrible.
with the tone thing for me was a case of at times it feels like it's really trying to do a very grounded
Yes,
religious piece, and then
and then he'll
others
pull a
it's like
snake
this
out of
is
someone's
full on
mouth.
horror movie. This is full on insidious, or
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
you know,
I mean,
it's
the
like
opening of this movie, without well, I don't without spoiling the movie. The opening of this movie literally has live babies being thrown on a fucking
yes,
pyre,
and you
right?
fucking
So
see it too.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
you see, because it starts off in the distance, and you can see, you know what they're doing. You know, if you know the story
and
of
that would have been enough, but no,
yeah, if you know
they
the
were like, no,
story of
no,
Herod, and you know that you know
yeah,
what happens when Jesus was born,
mm.
you know what they're doing. But then you full on see the dude throwing a baby into the fire, and you see the baby burning, and you're like, "Whoa, okay,
Yeah,
fuck,
yeah,
we're doing this then. All right then,
we are fully doing this, yeah,
yeah." And then it sort of seems to sort of the tone goes down again, and it's more of a sort of it feels almost like a thoughtful piece at that point,
yes,
with them sort of with a sort of almost like a voiceover by Cage, sort of saying that because of the nature of his son, he has to keep moving on and all
mm.
that sort of thing, and that was sort of interesting, and that was kind of good. And then when the devil turns up,
Yeah,
which was a sort of weird choice, I get what they did,
yeah, yeah.
and it kind of works to a certain degree. I'm not sure the actress pulled it off well enough.
No. And I think it's interesting because you said about the, you know, those thoughtful moments and the tone, and I do think like there is a good movie in here somewhere.
Yeah.
Amongst all of the not good stuff and the baffling choices.
Yeah.
They could have had something here, I think, if they'd leaned more into the horror or if they'd leaned more into the thoughtful. Yeah. One or the other. It's like it's half pregnant in every sense of the, you know, of
because there's some wonderful imagery.
I was going to say some of the shots are actually really nice in this.
Yeah. And it's I think is it filmed in Egypt? I'm not quite sure, but
it looked like it could have been.
The setting was beautiful. Some of the visions that he has that Jesus has are wonderful.
Yeah,
especially that one the vision of him in the death shroud.
Yes,
that was a particularly good and haunting image. Wonderfully done. And the scene of the crucifixion was really well done as well, and really sort of really interesting. But then it almost feels like they didn't quite know what to do half the time. It's sort of like
there is a lot of almost meandering in amongst the key scenes of this movie. And as you said, in a more thoughtful approach, that probably would have worked better. But it just kind of feels like if you came into this wanting a more thoughtful piece on, like, well, you know, let's look at the missing period of Jesus's life, you know, as is missing from the Bible, and let's explore that in a thoughtful, meaningful way. You're not going to get that with this movie.
No.
If you're looking for a Nick Cage horror movie, you're not going to get that from this movie. So it kind of feels like you're not going to quite get what you want, whichever direction you're coming at this movie. I think you'll find something I did. I liked bits of this. I think for me, it's not terrible. It's not great. It's somewhere in between. But I think it could have been great. I think there are moments of this movie where I was like, oh, you know.
Yeah, and I thought Noah Jupe was great.
Fantastic.
He had some wonderful moments where he's trying to discover who he is.
The scenes with the leper I thought were great. The bug scene was great. Like, there's a lot of scenes that I really liked with him, and I do like the idea of exploring it as a film. I think it's an interesting concept. I've never read the source material, but I have heard about it before.
I know bits of it. I know it. It's sort of it. I know that. I know Jesus in it. Well, he kills people. He kills a kid. He kills a number of people in them, and I think he does bring them back. Or I think depending on the translation.
Well, he's learning his abilities, isn't he? And he's a child.
I think the problem with a lot of sort of, you know, religious people is that it makes him more of a sort of, I guess, more human, more fallible,
humanized. Which
I think a lot of people reject. A lot of religious people reject the idea.
And I understand
that.
I understand that. I mean, I am not religious, or certainly not Christian or Catholic. So it doesn't affect me. But I can understand if that was your belief, that you would dislike that.
I consider myself a Buddhist, a very bad Buddhist, but I do consider myself
a very bad Buddhist. Okay.
Yeah, but you know, that's kind of my look. You know, that's my look on this world.
Yeah, but sure.
I thought he was sort of quite good, and I liked a lot of that sort of stuff. What annoyed me actually though is that it has that sort of idea of. You know, there's that 30-year period of Jesus between there and there, and
let's skip a load of it.
It felt really truncated. It felt just like one bit, like very small. It's like they could have had a passage of time that would have made it more interesting.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like, you know, maybe he starts doing miracles because according to that thing, he starts doing miracles when he's very young when he's only like a tot, you
Yeah.
know. So if they'd have shown, I think, more of that sort of like, oh, there's a small child doing things, and then they quickly have to pick him up and dash to the next town. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Sort of
because
like
people
leave him
don't
go.
understand. People are fearful of
Yeah, I
him,
think if they
and
would have
yeah,
shown that a little bit more,
yeah.
that would have made it a lot more interesting. When it goes to sort of full horror, those bits are actually quite well done.
If there was more of it, then it could
Yeah.
have worked as a horror movie. That's where it kind of feels like it's in the middle of the road between
Mm-hmm.
two potentially great film ideas, and it just kind of doesn't do either. For me, at least.
Like when the slight spoilers, there were snakes removed from mouths and things. You know, like
Yes, terrible CGI snakes being removed from people's mouths.
Well, actually, I thought there's one particular bit when
I don't think there's a non-goofy way of doing that, so I think it looked fine. I agree.
But I thought the one towards the end when let's say the devil, when the devil sort of spitting out the snake, I thought that was actually a pretty good image. It was a, you know, the snake may not have been the best snake of all, but it wasn't terrible, and I thought it made for a good image.
Oh, for sure.
But then that's like the thing with the horror elements is it then leads into the whole. Well, this doesn't feel like it should be part of that film.
Yeah, it feels like two separate takes. Of
yeah,
the same source material in one movie. It's odd.
And I did look at. I was sort of thinking, I don't remember ever learning when Joseph dies or what happens to Joseph in the Bible, and I did look that up, and apparently he's not really mentioned after the birth.
Right. Well, I guess he's like. I guess it's like, well, it's not his son, and he's not really part of the story. He's just there to be like, "Hey, I'm here too. Goodbye."
Yeah, I'm I'm bringing him up on Earth, but I'm not. I'm irrelevant.
Yeah,
and I think the sort of his ending in this, I thought was it's really annoying because it's like it's Nicolas Cage acting his ass off,
which he does throughout this film. He takes it as serious as a fucking heart attack the whole movie, and he gives it his all, as he does in every. And that's what I love about Nick Cage.
Yeah,
whatever the fucking performance he's giving, no matter how ludicrous the film, he will act his ass off.
Yeah,
and he does it here. You're 100%.
He does, but it still felt out of place.
Oh yeah, he's terribly miscast. Terribly.
It's like it sort of feels like I want to see the movie that he's in. The movie that he should be in. It feels like it could have been more interesting.
Yeah.
And it's a weird movie to sort of to try and recommend.
It is. I don't know who this is for. I didn't hate it. I don't know who it's for though.
No. I mean, Nick Cage fans are going to probably the performance.
That is
but
the
I
one
don't think
that comes
they
to
get
mind.
much out of the movie.
No.
It's not horror enough to be a horror movie.
And it's not thoughtful or serious enough to be a
religious movie.
A religious movie.
But it's not the annoying thing is it's not a terrible movie.
No, I didn't hate it. I didn't. You know, I thought there were bits that were actually really well done.
Yeah.
It's just an odd film, is what I would say.
A lot of really nice imagery, but I'm not sure that's enough to sustain it as a recommendation.
No, I'm not sure that I recommend it either, although I will say I did think there were genuinely really nice moments in this film and potential for it to have been something great. But,
I will say I'd quite happily watch Noah Jupe in something else. He was
absolutely.
Great.
I thought he was superb.
He was the son in Quiet Place. Is that right?
Oh, okay. Yes.
He was the son in Quiet Place, and he was in.
I hadn't placed him until now, but yeah,
he was in Le Mans and Honey Boy. So I've seen him in a number of things. He's a great little actor, and he's getting to that older point now where he could get some really juicy roles. I think if I'm not sure whether this will do it any favors for him, but you know he's good in it. So I really like to see him in something else. And I said FK Twigs was
I thought she was
was
great.
great in the, even though she didn't really get much to do.
Almost felt like it that would have been more interesting to give her some more things to do in some more time, actually, because I thought her performance for what it was great for what was there.
Yeah, more scenes between Cage and her would have been not just them sort of shouting at each other, which
is most of the most of their interaction.
You know, and it's it needed the sort of arguments that they were having. I think needed a bit more subtlety to them.
Yes.
I think it needed less shouty Cage.
It needed a different actor, I think.
Yeah.
Much as I love it.
Yeah, I really do. It pains me to say it, but it should not have been Cage doing that role.
I don't think so, no. Yeah, it's an odd one.
Yeah. It's I can't really recommend it, but then I can't condemn it either. It's an interesting movie. I think it's
worth watching as a curiosity. I'll give you that.
Yeah. As a sort of a curiosity, but I'm not sure I could recommend it to either horror fans or religiously, you know, religious movie watchers.
No,
so I know it's been banned. It's been banned in a number of territories.
I assumed that as soon as I started watching the movie. I was like, "Yep, this is banned."
Oh yeah,
somewhere.
and you can see why.
I 100% understand. Yeah,
you know, and I can see why it would. You know, especially. I mean, you know, he does kill a boy. You know, there's a spoiler, but he does kill a boy, and you can.
Yeah, I
imagine that's not really how people want to see Jesus is killing a small boy, but
no, which is I gather why the text was deemed heretical in the first place. You know, that kind of stuff.
It's an interesting way of humanizing Jesus.
Yeah, and as someone that's not of that faith, I found it kind of an interesting subject, actually. Just the execution was a bit baffling.
And I think it's. I mean, it suggests to me anyway. I don't know whether. Again, I have not read the things, but from what little I can gather, it's sort of it's the idea that Jesus is learning to deal with what he has. He's doing. You know, he's a small child doing small child things. You know, there's he's not a fully formed God sort of thing at that point. You know, he's
no.
So that I find interesting. You know, but yeah, it's a movie that could have been really something. I think
I agree.
I think that's the main problem with it. It feels like it could have been something. Mainly if they would have not cast Cage and decided on
picked a direction. Yeah. Which way are you leaning?
Yeah. Either really grounded or massive horror.
Yeah.
You know, pick one of those and
absolutely
do that.
Yeah.
Personally, I think I would have preferred a more grounded piece.
Me too, because I think the quieter moments of this film are actually very interesting. But yeah, there we go. I want to take you back to 2023 now, and a film that I think you might have reviewed.
Okay.
I think, but I only saw it last week. And my dad actually weirdly recommended this one, and it's not the kind of film my dad would ever watch. But he was like, "Oh, I saw this movie. It's really fun." And I was like, "Okay, cool. I'll give it a watch." And that was Jules, starring Ben Kingsley. I had a feeling you reviewed this one, but I don't know.
I don't think so.
Okay. Well, this is a weird one. I'm surprised I've never watched this movie, because it's kind of more up my street than my dad's street.
Jules, as in like
Jules, as in the name Jules, as in Vern.
Okay.
So this is a film about Ben Kingsley's character. He's called Milton, and he's suffering with memory issues. Dementia is kind of setting in, and he's got a daughter who's kind of worried about him. He is constantly going to the council and complaining about the same old streets need fixing, and this, the accident's going to happen on this corner, and they go to every council meeting. These busybodies, including him, go to these council meetings.
Right.
But it's becoming clear that his memory is failing him, his mind is failing him. He started to leave things in weird places. Like there's a scene where they're like, why is this tin of peas? This tin of peas was upstairs in the bathroom cabinet, and he's like, I don't know why it got up there. And it's like you got confused. You didn't realize what you're doing. You put the tin of peas up there instead of where it belongs, in the kitchen. So his daughter's worried about him. And then one night, a flying saucer, a UFO, an actual flying saucer, crashes into his plants in his backyard. And out from it comes an extraterrestrial. He tries to call the police, who think he's mental, and are just like, what are you talking about? Stop wasting our time. And also, you've got dementia or something. You're not well. Go away. They refuse to attend. I think he tries the fire brigade as well. They also say the same thing. So eventually, no one believes him, and his house is quite big, and it luckily obscures this crashed UFO in the back garden. Eventually, this alien, comes out of the craft and collapses on the floor, and he's kind of at first a bit scared of it, but he gives it a blanket ultimately, and then it starts living with him, and so he's just living in his house with this alien who doesn't talk. It just sits there staring at him in his living room, and he tries to feed it different food. He realizes in the end that it loves apples, so he starts buying loads of apples. And he says to a number of people in the community, like, in fact, he goes to the council meeting and he's complaining about the roads again. And then he's like, and also this UFO's crashed into my plants in the back garden, and they're not going to grow back now for years. It's going to take me years to fix that. And they all just think he's finally lost the plot, Yeah. He's finally descended into dementia. When in reality, there is an alien living in his house. And then along come the other members of this group, both of which appear to be infatuated with him somewhat, and there's kind of a little bit of a love triangle kind of going on between him and the other characters.
Okay.
But yeah, this is a funny. It's at once it's a nice comedy. I laughed a few times. There were a few moments that I found quite funny, but also it's got real heart. It's a really lovely, touching little story by the end. Yeah, I know it's 2023. It's been out a while now, and I'm surprised I haven't seen it before. But I really recommend this one. It's a lovely, lovely little movie. It's a really touching comedy. Fun.
Yeah, I remember seeing the trailers when it first came out, and I completely forgot about it.
Do you know, weirdly, I had this feeling that when I started reviewing it, you were going to be like, I've already done this one, because I was like, I'm sure Maybe we talked about the trailer. Maybe we talked about the trailer.
We did. I think we probably did when it first came out, because I remember seeing the trailer and thinking, I've got to watch that, and then I completely left my mind and I'd forgotten about it.
Well, as of last week, it was on all 4, so you may be able to still see it.
Okay.
But I definitely recommend it.
I love Ben Kingsley, and I'm really happy to see Jane Curtin in something else as well.
Yes.
Great. I love Jane Curtin.
Yeah, it's a really, really lovely, touching little comedy. Thought it was great. So yeah, heartwarming comedy. So I think you have one more movie.
I do. I've also seen Americana.
Mm-hmm. Starring Sydney Sweeney. And
2023 seems to be a recurring thing, because this is another one that came out in supposed to have come out in 2023, but I think got pushed back and not released until
maybe they just didn't really care about it, and then Sydney Sweeney became massive, and they're like,
that kind of feels
maybe
like
we'll release it. Yeah,
that kind of feels like what it is. So it's a many-stranded, multi-character story. It feels very much like a sort of
Magnolia.
Sorry.
Oh, I was going to say Magnolia. I thought it was like different people living their lives, different, lives intersecting kind of movie.
Not quite. It's more of a sort of Tarantino sort of Fargo. What's the Fargo guys? Oh, for fuck, what are they called? The brothers. Um, you, you
Uh,
know, Big Lebowski, all that sort of
yes.
those guys. My fucking brain,
Yeah,
man.
trust me, my brain is screwed. Don't worry.
Anyway, it feels more like that
Yeah.
sort of thing. So you've basically got um you've got Sydney Sweeney, who is Penny Joe, who is a waitress, a stuttering waitress who is put upon by her mother in the brief sort of thing you do see of her,
Mm.
and she wants to be a sort of a country singer, and she meets
Cohen
uh,
brothers. Fuck me. Got their own
Cohen
again.
brothers. Thank you, Jesus Christ. Um, yes, the Cohen brothers. So you've got her, and she meets Lefty Ledbetter, who comes in regularly, and she sort of knows his order and all that sort of stuff. And he he's played by Paul Waterhauser, and he's an injured vet who sounds like he proposes to every girl he's had a relationship with. There's a bit
Right.
where he's running this when you first meet him. He's running this proposal past Penny Joe, and she says to him, "How long have you been together?" And he's like, "3 weeks." And she's like, "Oh, okay." And then you see the proposal, and the girlfriend's like, "How many times have you done this year?" And it's like, "3, actually, 4 if you include this one." So you get
Right.
them. You have Halsey's character Mandy Starr, who is with Eric Dane's Dylan, who is basically this awful sort of criminal dickhead.
Mm.
And she's got this her nephew that they're living with. Now the nephew, Carl, um, he believes he is the reincarnation of Sitting Bull.
Okay.
Yes. So he wants to lead his people back to their lands and be the savior of his people. Right. But he's a small white child. Um,
Sure.
you've also got a number of Indians on the reservation, um, and the sort of the through thing that brings all these characters sort of into orbit is a ghost shirt. So,
Right.
I think I think they're Lakota. I think it's a Lakota artifact, and um, it's owned by this incredible rich douchebag, and another rich douchebag wants it stolen from him so that he can put it in his Wild West museum.
Right.
So Lefty overhears this deal going down, so he decides that him and Penny Joe are gonna steal it off of them and run away to Nashville, and she's gonna become a singer. You've got Halsey, who is escaping from from her boyfriend. You've got her boyfriend being the guy who steals it from this, rich douchebag.
Mm-hmm.
Then you've got this sort of you've got Roy Lee Dean, who's the guy who's trying to buy it and do a deal with different people trying to get hold of this shirt. And then you've got um uh is it Zane McLaren, who's a great actor. He was the guy who was the do you remember Doctor Sleep?
Yeah.
He was the Indian guy in Doctor Sleep.
Oh,
He was
okay.
he was
Yeah. Yeah.
Rose the Hat's like second
Yes.
singing that man. Um, him and his people are trying to get the artifact back for their people.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a big messy sort of thing, and
Yeah.
you do get an initial sort of time jump back between one scenes, and then they sort of don't do it again. So it's like, oh, okay, that's not sure why you needed to do that initially, but um, it is really messy. It's really quite interesting. It's pretty well done. Um, it does feel very much like Tarantino light. So it does sort
Yeah.
of it doesn't have the same dynamism as a Tarantino movie. It doesn't have the same sort of urgency, I guess is what the word I'd use. It feels it does feel cohesive, but it does feel a little bit sort of like it needed a little, I don't know, a little another go over or something. You know, it needed something else.
Mm.
Um, all all the performances are pretty good. They're strict. I mean, I'm not quite sure why. Um, uh, Penny Jones as uh, Sydney Sweeney has a stutter. I'm not sure whether that was necessary, but it's fine.
Sure.
She's kind of sweet, and um, I will say I'm not sure whether I was just being sensitive to it or what, but it does seem to make every white dude either a retard or an absolute piece of shit. It felt very much like they were doing that. It's like, Lefty's a complete retard loser. Every other guy is an asshole. All the women are like put upon,
Right.
you know, trying to survive. I mean, there is some really horrific stuff that goes on in this movie. There's the Halsey character when she goes back to her, um, when she's sort of on the run, she goes back to her family, and her family is this um patriarchal religious sort of bent. Like, if you come back to my house, you've got to obey by our rules, and it's like basically the women are servants,
Oh,
and they have
God.
to do whatever the guys want, and it's like this
Blimey. Right.
armed compound and stuff. And I won't. There's another sort of twist to that situation, which is fucking horrible.
Mm.
Um, it's described as a sort of modern western, which it kind of is. I can see that. I mean, there is a very cowboys and Indians thing going on through it.
Mm.
I mean, one of the factions. One of the factions is the Indians. Um, I did enjoy it.
Mm.
It was an okay movie, but it won't. It's not gonna. It won't be one I'll think about again.
Sure. Yeah, it's a one and done.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was. For what it is, it was quite well done. But there's nothing in it that really grabs you. There are some nice moments. It feels like they had a number of ideas and they do them well, and then the rest of the movie is like, oh, and then it sort of peters out a little.
Right.
There's some wonderful. There was a great shot at one point where you get this um phone conversation between two of the characters, and it's like the guys, oh, come alone, I'll give you the money, you give me the shirt, sort of thing. And it's like, yeah, we'll come alone, and they're both looking at like a cupboard full of weapons or a trunk full of weapons,
Right.
and it's a split screen shot, and it's like, oh, that's really well done. I wanted more of that.
Mm.
Feels like they couldn't quite commit to the bit. It feels like they wanted to do a Tarantino movie, but they couldn't quite pull it off.
Yeah.
Halsey I'm not sure I've ever seen Halsey in anything before, but she was quite good. I really liked her character, for what it was.
Yeah.
I recommend it as a sort of a throwaway action movie. Really, it's sort of as a Tarantino light movie.
Sure.
But it's not something I'd ever go back to. I certainly wouldn't watch it again. But it had some interesting. They did have one part that really sort of gave me a big grin on my face. The McLennan's character calls himself Ghost Eye, and the young kid who thinks he's Sitting Bull is talking to him about his name and stuff, and where he got his name from, and he's like, well, he said, I got it from that movie, and he's like, what movie? He's like, Ghost Dog. Ghost Dog. That movie with, and I was like, oh my god, they're mentioning This movie gets points for mentioning ghost dogs. Ghost dogs
This movie gets points for mentioning a better movie. Yeah.
Yes, that's the thing. It gets points for mentioning a much better movie that most people don't.
I love Ghost Dog. We're gonna cover that one day.
Oh, that's on the list. That we are definitely covering Ghost Dog.
100% love that movie.
Yeah. So it got a big grin out of me for that, and yeah, it feels like it could have been something a little better if it would have, I don't know, maybe had another script passed or something, or if it felt like it could commit to some of the more wonderful shots in it, would have been quite nice. But yeah, it's not terrible. It's not, but it's not great either. It's an interesting watch. I think you could do worse than giving it a go.
Sure. Well, I think that is it for the movies. Do you want to move on to any news?
Should we go through all the huge amounts of trailers we've seen?
Sure.
That were the last couple of weeks. So we got the CinemaCon dropped a lot of.
It did.
Trailers. I think the one, but from what you said, I don't think. I really liked the Street Fighter trailer. Not so much you, by the sounds of it.
No, not really. I like. I mean, I don't know. I guess if it works for people, I think it's. I see the trailer for Street Fighter, and I am just cringing from beginning to end. And then I see the trailer for Mortal Kombat 2, and I'm like, that looks fun. I'm on board.
Yeah, I will say the Mortal
Kombat. Two very different directions to go with your movie. And hey, it might just be the trailer. The movie could be great. It's just that tone. I think what it is actually is it feels to me like, remember when they did the remake of Starsky and Hutch? And they were just making fun of Starsky and Hutch.
Yeah.
It feels like you're parodying Street Fighter rather than making a Street Fighter movie in earnest, right? To me. But let's wait and see. I'm still 100% open to this movie being great. Like, it looks
I didn't find that.
fun.
I thought that they were taking it as a... Sure, they were being a little goofy with it, but then there's a lot of fucking goofy shit in.
Oh no! Well, there is in Mortal Kombat 2. I mean, let's be clear.
Yeah.
And these are ridiculous things to make movies of anyway. Let's be honest. It's not. And of the two, actually, I think Mortal Kombat is the one that has the more interesting story to make as a movie.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's got that does have a much more interesting
fate of the planet,
mythology about it.
Yeah, it's got that mythology going on. I mean, Street Fighter, obviously, you've got this corporation, and the evil tyrant. That needs to be brought down somehow through a street fighting tournament for reasons that no one understands. But fine, whatever. That's totally fine. I don't know. I'll totally give it a go. I'll give it a go. I'm just not convinced yet.
Yeah. I think both trailers I thought looked great.
Now,
I think that I do think that the Mortal Kombat one looked better.
The Mortal Kombat one I mean, I quite enjoyed most of Mortal Kombat, the first one. And I saw from this trailer for the second one that Kano's back, so I'm happy about that.
Yeah,
he was definitely the standout of the first movie.
He was, yeah, and it doesn't look like they've got the. Does the main character from the first one? I'm not sure
he is in it. He is in it. I think he might get killed off immediately or relegated to, because obviously this is Johnny Cage's movie now, isn't it? So and rightly so. Carl Urban is Johnny Cage. Sign me up for some of that.
That was the one of the weird things about that first movie is like, why making you of all the things
you'd think it would be Liu Kang or
of all the things you can level at Mortal Kombat. Lack of characters is not one.
No, they've got so many. Bizarre.
So many characters they could have picked to do a main story about it instead of making their own one. It seems a bit weird.
But we shall see. Now, onto a a movie that I thought the teaser trailer looked fucking awful was He-Man. I think this trailer has won me over. This trailer, I thought, oh, this looks way better. Like, way better. Now I'm like, actually, yes, I understand this movie now. The first one, I think, leaned too heavily into the Earth stuff, and it was, like, really goofy and silly. This one, I was like, oh, cool. Okay, they're not just doing goofy and silly, and, oh, he can't pick the sword off of this toy statue and, you know, all that crap. It was like, oh, no, it's not just going to be Marvel humor. Because, like, you know, there's some actual, you know, obviously it's ridiculous, but I want a little bit of drama in there and a little bit of, you know, it was like, oh, no, I can see the story now. You know, we are going to, it looks like we are going to spend quite a lot of time on Eternia. It's not just going to be a throwaway at the end back in Eternia for 5 minutes.
Everybody looks fantastic.
Yeah, I was surprised at some of the characters I saw in that trailer. I'm like, are they going to call him Fisto? Because that's a choice. Can you say that with a straight face? But no, I tell you what, this trailer won me over. Totally won me over.
I still have, you know, I mean, the Jared Leto thing still.
It's just his voice, though, isn't it? At this point.
Yeah, and
he, you know, he basically is Skeletor in real life, so it's fine. Jared Leto works well when they cast him as a villain because he is a villain.
He is a good actor. He's just all the baggage that comes with him. It's like,
well, and his behavior outside of acting, you know,
not normal.
No, it's not. Cult leader.
Not normal. The thing that worries me is there's been a lot of stuff saying, and the Tila actress is sprouting it as well, is the whole idea that this movie's about toxic masculinity. And
right. The trailer doesn't give me that impression.
No. So I'm hoping it's just some fucking buzzwords that people are fucking saying at the moment.
Well, actors say what their agents tell them to say, and what they think is what people want to hear. We'll see. We'll see.
I'm hoping it's not. If it's
He-Man is the wrong property to try that with. You know,
it'll fucking kill this movie.
Yeah, it will not go well. And you know, given the failure of the Kevin Smith anime versions and the backlash they got from that you would hope that a lesson was learned, right? You would hope.
That fucking series was.
I didn't even see the second season. I forced myself through the first one, and I was like, that's me done. I'm not watching any more of that.
Yeah, that was.
And it had everything going for it, you know? Had a great cast. It had a great studio doing the animation.
The animation was good. The voice cast was fantastic.
The story was garbage.
What was he doing, man? And the fact that he kept saying, "Oh, I'm not doing that. I'm not." You know, everybody. Who is it? It was Clownfish, wasn't it? They were the ones that started coming out, and he even replied to Clownfish and said, "No, you're lying. You don't know anything." And then they proceeded that Clownfish were fucking right all along.
Oh, I vaguely remember something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like Kevin Smith. I think you need to apologize to them because you fucking lied. But yeah, that's a.
I mean, hopefully this will not go that way. This trailer looked fun. It looked like a fun fantasy movie. Look schlocky in the best way. Mm-hmm. So we'll see. Yeah,
I thought it was really cool. Have you seen the? Well, of course you have. So we got the Godzilla.
You don't need to ask me that question.
Yeah, no, that was we have actually we did discuss it briefly the other week, and we don't need to. Is what I was looking at my list, and that one popped up.
I don't know if we talked about it.
We did, but not too much because we
did. We talk about it on air though.
No, we didn't.
Okay.
That's because kind of why we didn't talk about it properly. I think was there are a number of interesting things on that trailer.
There's two different Godzillas for one, which is odd. I am hoping that it's two Godzillas. That would be the interesting play for me. You know, given how he was destroyed, them splitting into two separate organisms would be interesting. Cool. And I think they could do. I'm assuming this movie, because they have said several times, or they've at least hinted several times, that there's going to be another monster of some kind in the movie.
Yes. Well, because of certain things in that trailer,
Yes.
a lot of people are going with Ghidorah.
I don't know that I buy that it's Ghidorah. I can see why, the anti-gravity stuff, because they're not going to do Space Godzilla, which is another obvious anti-gravity, because obviously Legendary are doing Space Godzilla now. And I don't think they're going to do Mecha Godzilla either, which is the other option. Unless it's something completely new, of course. Assuming established monsters, those would be the obvious choices.
I mean, that would be probably the best way to go, really, wouldn't it? Because I don't think they don't need the
I'd love them to do. I would love them to do Hedorah, and I know that's one of the director's favorite monsters.
Yeah,
he's the pollution monster, the trash monster.
Yes, yeah. I don't think they need to rely on the nostalgia thing.
No, I don't, and which is why I think two Godzillas would be really cool.
Yeah, having a new monster would be cool, I think. But you know how much I fucking love Ghidorah's my favorite monster.
Oh, Ghidorah would look. I'm not going to pretend like if it's fucking Ghidorah, I would hate it.
Yeah,
I'm gonna fucking love it. But I'm just like, do we want to bring in the aliens and Ghidorah unless you do a different origin, of course. But do you want to do that Ghidorah thing? Because to me, I feel like it's the tone of -1 that makes me have pause when we're introducing other monsters. I'm like, are we going to go more Showa-y, later Showa-y, like silly? Because to me, I feel like if it was me, I think having two monsters is fine. I would probably do two different Godzillas, split from the same Godzilla when he was destroyed. And I would kind of like to see a Godzilla Raids Again kind of movie, where Godzilla fights Anguirus in that movie. And like it's two monsters fighting and humans are just in the way. No one's a good guy in that movie. Both monsters are just fighting each other, and they fight each other in a city, and that causes devastation.
I think that's it. I think the because of how the first one was written, the way that
it's superb. That first movie is so good.
I think they would be better off leaving the more fantastical stuff to the American.
I think so.
Stuff.
I mean, I said after -1 that we were in that wonderful situation of like, I've got my silly Showa Godzilla in the American stuff, and I've got the more thoughtful, impactful, emotional stuff with.
I do hope they keep that. I do hope they keep that.
I'd be surprised if they didn't.
The trailer certainly seemed to suggest that, even though you had those floating buildings, which is pretty fantastical.
Well, I mean, the other thought that comes to mind is, well, it could be a new power thing, and whatever. And it could be a dream sequence, because I'm still thinking that American the American side of things. I think that's going to be a dream sequence. That's my gut feeling. Because that's the it's the -1 Godzilla in that scene. It's that model, but he's way too tall to be the -1 Godzilla, unless he's grown massively since the last movie. And I'm thinking it's like an American nightmare. They're having a nightmare about it coming to America and what that might be like, and then that's gonna lead into them, because obviously we have the American voiceover in this, in the Japanese version of the trailer. There's the American voiceover. And I love that idea. I don't know how they didn't spot that spy plane, but I love the idea that they were about to potentially, I guess, do a third nuclear bomb. I think that's what they were hinting at. I'm not sure if that's what they were talking about, but that seemed to be the indication to me. That seemed to be what they were referring to. But then they do also make mention to, well, maybe we'll get a chance to use it, which makes it sound like it's something new. I don't know. Either way, the first movie has so much goodwill for me. I mean, I'm a massive Godzilla fan. I gotta see it anyway. But that aside, I think -1 was the best film of that year, regardless of my love for Godzilla. I
pretty fucking spectacular.
And this, as a result, I've got so much goodwill going into this. Whatever, I'm happy to see whatever at this point. I like the new design. I like the idea that he's evolving further. I still think the design they had in the first movie was perfect. I understand why they've beefed him up, because he's like evolving to.
The only thing I didn't like, it was the one thing I didn't like about the movie was the spine design. I did not like the spines.
Oh, in the
The,
first
the,
one.
yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
there were two. The one that's by his head, the one that's on his neck. But I said it's
Yeah.
just too much. It just doesn't look right to me. But other than that, it's a very minor.
It's because you've got the biggest spine at the top, haven't you?
Yeah, it looks weird to me.
Yeah.
But
It's
other
an
than that, it's a
interesting choice.
beautiful design. It's not that overall, it's a wonderful design. I
Yeah.
just don't particularly. There's that one bit that I don't like. And that's it. Everything else is wonderful.
But yeah, we shall see. I mean, it's only a teaser. It looks great. Yeah, looks fantastic.
Have you seen the Spaceballs 2 announcement?
Yeah, I saw. Yeah. Someone asked me if I saw the trailer, and I was like, "Well, it wasn't really a trailer, was it?"
No, it's him.
but fine. Yeah, I did. I thought it was funny.
They decided to change the name. I still think the Search for More Money works.
It does. I guess maybe they were like, "Oh, it's a bit played out now. We'll do something else." I don't know.
Yeah, but, maybe.
It was funny. I'm looking forward to it. We'll see. We'll see if it ends up being any good.
I think that's the thing is that I'm in two minds about it.
Me too. I'm willing to give it a go at this stage until I see something of it.
They're bringing back the originals,
the surviving, yeah,
that are still around, and that pleases me. So there's that, and Josh Gad. I'm not sure how I feel about him. Him doing it, but we'll see. Because I think he did that other. Was another History of the World that they did recently, wasn't it? And I haven't seen it, but I've heard it was bloody awful. That one that does sort of ring a few alarm bells, but I'm willing to give it a go.
Me too. I mean, I haven't seen anything yet, so it's hard to shit on it already. Yeah, we'll see. I'm curious how it'll go. I mean, the fact we got Rick Moranis back feels nothing short of a miracle, really, at this stage. So it's almost worth it for that. I'm happy to give it a go at this stage. Let's see.
Yep.
Have we talked about the fact that Supergirl still looks like a bag of shit?
Oh, no, we haven't.
Okay. I hated that trailer. That trailer's done nothing more for me. I still think that looks awful.
What that trailer did do, which I think I said to you before they released it, was, oh, they're going to wind this shit. That the stuff from the first trailer, they're going to wind back. They're going to get rid of the whole pissing on Superman thing. They're going to try and make you think, oh no, Superman's in it and he's okay. We're not pissing over him, honestly. And they're going to try and up the whole, damaged girl angle and all that. And they did all of that stuff.
Yeah.
And it still did absolutely nothing for me.
Nope. I felt like I saw that trailer and I thought the only reason this entire trailer exists is so that you can say, oh, it's like John Wick, but with Supergirl. And you know what? That only fucking works when it's a real dog and I actually care about the dog. That CGI fucking thing that, quite frankly, was the worst part of that Superman movie.
Oh, man.
No thank you.
Way too much up of that movie. Right?
It really did.
Oh. And now this is going to be why she's doing stuff, because the dog's poisoned, and it's like, no, fuck off, I don't care.
No, I'm sorry, I don't either.
And then, to compound things as well, Millie Alcock's already started banging on about men owning female bodies and all that sort of stuff. It's like, oh, for fuck's sake.
Oh, really?
Can you not do... Right. It's like, why are you just... You're just making it worse for your bloody movie. You're just making yourself look like an idiot and not endearing anybody to go and see this movie.
It's strange, isn't it? I don't really understand anymore why people do this. It's like you have been hired to make movie, to star in movie, and to promote movie.
Yep.
just do that. It's in your best interest to just shut up, be positive about the film you're making, and sell us on it. You know, don't alienate half the audience in any direction, regardless of beliefs, political, left, right, whatever.
No.
Just sell the movie to everyone, to as wide an audience as possible. Don't say, actually, fuck half the human race. You're like, that's not a good way to start. Just go throw it out there. Half in your audience before the movie's even out. Bad idea. I don't know. I mean, above all, I don't really care what anyone says in their private life or publicly what they say.
Yeah.
If the movie looked good, I'd go see it regardless of what she said. The movie just looks horrible to me.
Yeah.
It's not for me.
It's
I've seen nothing yet that would make me go, oh, I want to see that. You know?
I mean, okay, so from that, moving on to the other DC one, Clayface.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Oh, great trailer.
Yeah.
I still don't understand why they're doing it.
No, it's an interesting choice. But hasn't that just been DC lately?
Yeah.
Just baffling decisions.
Yeah. Like that fucking awful bloody Lanterns trailer. It's like, for fuck's sake.
That's another thing I forgot happened.
Oh man, that whole fucking Lanterns thing is again talking about people saying stupid shit.
Oh yeah, they say the green outfits are lame.
Green was stupid, so it's like, no, don't fucking do that. What are you doing? It's like, Christ, just sell it as what it is. It's the Green Lantern. It's always been the Green Lanterns. If you want to be snippy about it, don't fucking do it.
Yeah.
It's like you knew what you were going into when you fucking signed on. Why be a prick about it?
Yeah.
It's so stupid.
So,
the Clayface thing looks great. It looks like a really nice body horror movie.
There's Mike Flanagan's screenplay as well, which is interesting. Yeah,
and that's what makes me... The thing is I kind of feel about it the same way I felt about Penguin. I'm not interested.
Penguin was a very good show.
Yeah, I know. I've heard nothing.
It was better than Batman. It was better than the movie.
That.
It was very
I've
good.
heard that. I'm just not fucking interested.
You know, I finished watching Penguin and I was like, God, I wish Batman wasn't in this. Like, in this universe. Because, like, it's a really good, just interesting... we didn't need Batman. It's like... And it almost feels like the Batman Part 2. You're like, oh, really? Do we have to go back there? Can't we just get more Penguin now?
Well, I think that's how I'm going to look at this Clayface movie, as a body horror movie, and not...
Well, that's what it's billed as. It is billed as a body horror movie.
And not think about him as a Batman villain, because...
Well, I'm assuming they're doing a Joker.
They don't have a Batman
right?
yet.
Are they doing
a Batman yet?
Is he meant to be part of the universe, or are they just doing a Joker?
So. I think Gunn said it's part of his universe, yeah.
Oh, well, that changes things slightly.
Yeah.
Okay. Less keen now. But it looks interesting. Right. Of all future DC projects, this is the one I'm most interested in seeing right now.
Yeah.
So I'll give them that.
Yeah, that's that's the highest praise I can give it.
Yeah. I mean, I probably will see Batman Part 2, but I'm actually interested in Clayface more. That this looks like an interesting movie.
The thing the Batman thing though has been
it's too long. They've waited too long.
Yeah, they've hummed and hawed. They've messed about with it, and they don't know what to fucking do with it.
And you know how I feel about realistic Batman as well. The more realistic they try and make it, the stupider it gets for me.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah,
just lean into the fantasy element. That's how it works.
Mm-hmm. Yep, absolutely. Yep.
But never mind. Were there any other trailers that I've forgotten about? Oh, Disclosure Day. I still want to see Disclosure Day. I think it looks good.
Yeah, that does look good. That looks great. Yeah. Practical Magic 2.
Oh God, that came out this week, and I had no idea that was happening. I was like, what?
Yeah, no, I think I did mention it a while
Yeah,
back.
my memory is terrible, man. I forget everything now.
Yeah,
And
I've
I
got.
was like, I had no idea. And do you know what? It kind of made me happy when I saw it. I was like, oh,
Yeah, I have a.
yeah,
I love that movie.
uh huh.
It's it. I mean, what more do you?
Oh, it's
It's got
fun.
peak Nicole Kidman, peak
Yep,
Sandy B.
yep,
What more can you ask for?
100%.
Um, you've got the ants back as well. You've got them. You've got
Two
you know.
two of my biggest childhood crushes
Yeah,
in one movie.
yeah. Um, Nicole looks a little weird these days, but
Oh no, I
Sandy
meant back then. But yeah.
Sandy B still looks fantastic.
Oh yeah.
Um, the only thing that I didn't like is it kind of suggesting that the curse wasn't broken
Yeah, I guess we'll have to
by
see on
Aiden
that.
Quint's character, which is a really annoying because it's like, oh no, you mean you've gone back? Oh, that I like that the idea that they broke the curse was broken by what she did and what they did. Hopefully that's not the case,
I
but I
guess we'll
don't know
find
whether
out.
he's in it or not. So
No.
I presume he's not because he certainly wasn't in the trailer.
Hopefully it's better than The Craft 2 was.
Well, I mean that. Yeah, I haven't touched that with a barge.
Oh,
pole.
neither should you
never
ever.
going to.
If you like The Craft, never watch The Craft 2.
Yeah,
I forget
no.
what it's called, but whatever it's called, don't watch it. It's fucking terrible.
Yeah, I'm not going there. I love The Craft too much.
yeah. But this looks
Yeah,
fun. This looks like a lot of fun, and it did make me smile. I was like, oh yeah, that's comfort food. It's comfort food in film form.
Absolutely. Evil Dead Burn.
Sure.
Not so much a trailer, more of like a scene.
More of a statement, yes.
Which was just a dude throwing some dudes around.
Yeah.
And somebody crawling up, which was like, okay, doesn't really tell you much.
No.
Fine. I'm still not quite sure how I feel about the continuing of the Evil Dead franchise, really.
I'll give it a go. We'll see.
But yeah, I mean, you liked the last one more than I did.
I did.
Yes. But I did like stuff in it. I certainly liked the mum character, the actress that was the mum. Every scene that she was in were fucking amazing. She was great. What else do we have? There was a new they dropped that Insidious one, which was
how many of those are there now? I don't even know.
9 or something. It feels like that anyway. The trailer was okay.
They need to do one more than Fast and Furious. That's what they need to do, and then stop.
Have you seen? There's a new version of Night of the Living Dead.
No.
Oh, that trailer is. I don't know. Honestly, I have no idea. The trailer is terrible. It's full of CG explosions and CG.
Is it public domain? It's public domain, isn't it?
Not them did it. Yeah.
So can they just public domain a remake? That's why.
I think so.
That's why this has happened.
Yeah.
Because they did like Night of the Living Dead 3D and you know.
Yeah.
The only good remake was the Tom Savini one.
The Savini one was
that
great.
was fun.
That's got some really good stuff in it.
Yeah.
What's her name?
Pat.
Pullman is wonderful in that. She's really great.
She's great.
What else was there? There was the Coyote versus Acme.
That looked fun. I'm like, that's
really
what a lovely
because they canned that ages ago, and they were like, no, we're not going to show it now.
I saw that trailer and I thought, what a wonderful idea for a film that he's going to sue Acme. That's perfect. Like that's such a good hook for a Wile E. Coyote movie. It's brilliant. I was like that concept alone has won me over. And I thought the trailer looked fun. I mean, I love those kind. I mean, I even enjoyed Space Jam. I'll be honest with you.
Like, I mean, Space Jam is rubbish, but
it's
really
rubbish,
like it.
But I enjoyed it. You know.
Yeah, I do as well.
Back in action, not so much.
No.
Not so much. But Space Jam I enjoyed. And obviously Who Framed Roger Rabbit. That kind of idea I love.
Yeah.
I do. And
it's nice to sort of see that again. I like the idea of it.
And it looks fun.
Not a movie, but a doc that I saw, and mainly appeals to me because I'm such a fucking huge fan of them. There is a Iron Maiden Burning Ambition doc coming out.
Yeah, I'm interested in that.
I mean, they're like one of my favorite bands, so
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna watch that. I love a good music doc, and seeing a Maiden doc's gonna be right down my street. And it was a cool
absolutely.
trailer as well. I quite like the trailer for that.
Yeah.
Did you see the trailer for Dogstar? The Dog
Yes.
Stars? That looked really interesting.
It does
Apparently
look
based on
very
a
interesting.
book. I
I've
like
not read
that
it.
a lot. Jacob Elordi seems to be his star's definitely on the rise, isn't it?
Yeah.
He's seems to be doing pretty well so far, and that trailer I thought was really interesting.
It's Ridley Scott as well, isn't it?
It is. It's
Which
like a fucking
surprised
it's a
me.
Ridley Scott movie that I want to watch.
Yeah, well, that was my reaction too. I was like, oh
Yeah.
wow, okay.
It's been a while.
It has been a while. I mean, that man used to make masterpiece
Yeah.
cinema. So yeah, I thought that looked really good actually. Another movie I didn't really know anything about until I saw the trailer, and I was like, oh, this looks really interesting.
Yeah, it was a really cool trailer. I liked it a lot. There was a trailer for a thing that called Frankie Maniac Woman. Have you seen that?
No.
It looks like a sort of a female maniac slashery type
Okay.
sort of movie. It looks sort of terrible, but in a good way.
Cool.
It looks like it could be a lot of slasher fun.
Well, like is it X vibes or?
No. More sort of I guess some of the sort of weirder, sillier sort of Friday the 13th stuff. I guess.
Okay. Yeah.
I'd sort of put it.
Is it set in space?
No, it's not. It's not.
That's
that
a
way.
shame. I love that. Fuck, like Jason X is wonderful.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, but that series was so stupid. By that point, it was the natural progression.
Yeah,
and it's gloriously shit. I love that film so much.
I love the nano
Jason. Yeah,
Jason is a really cool thing. Plus, you got I never remember the actress's name. She was in Andromeda.
Yes, I know you mean.
She's like the station robot, I think, isn't she?
Yeah.
She's great.
She has a fight scene. She's the one that kicks Jason into the nano machine, I think. She blows him in half and then kicks him into the nano machine.
Yeah.
Great movie.
It's a
5 stars.
Oh man, it's just fun. I think that's the thing about that movie is it knows what it is.
Oh, 100% it knows what it is. It totally knows what it is.
It's like, yes, we're doing this now.
And to be honest, at that stage in the series, if someone had came to you and went, right, Matt, you need to make the next Friday the 13th installment, I feel like I genuinely at that time would have looked at it and gone, I don't know, space, I guess.
Space, yeah.
Like, what else can we do? You know?
Yeah.
Fine. Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, that one works.
Yes.
Leprechaun in Space does not. Have you seen Leprechaun in Space?
Yes, that does not work. Hellraiser in Space doesn't really work either, although some of the flashback bits are really cool in that.
I love the idea with the station, though.
Yes, and the station is cool.
That's really fucking interesting. The thing about that whole movie is it's like that movie's got great ideas that it fucking pisses up the wall.
Yeah.
It's really annoying, that movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that was it.
That everything?
Yeah.
Cool.
There was one thing that I just thought that made me laugh that I hadn't seen anything about before, but it was a thing that was like an announcement that said, this movie was supposed to come out in 2027, but it's being put off till 2028. Right?
Why would you announce that? It's so far away.
But it's the movie that it is that made me sort of go,
oh, okay.
What the fuck? So it's the Murder, She Wrote movie with Jamie Lee Curtis as Jessica Fletcher.
Okay.
Yes. I just caught that article and I was like, what the fuck? I didn't even know she was doing a fucking Murder, She Wrote movie. Why the fuck would you do a Murder, She Wrote movie? What the fuck?
I don't know why the fuck you do it, but I am vaguely interested now into seeing what this turns out like.
It's so weird. They keep doing this with like.
Who is your target audience for that?
I have no idea. No idea.
Oh my god.
I was completely baffled, but very amused by it.
Well, that's cool. Let's bring them all back. Let's do a Kojak movie, and
Well, they already did. They did a.
Did they do a modern one?
Yeah. What's
Did
his
I
name?
blank that from my memory?
Yeah, it's
Well, not Telly
is it?
Savalas, obviously.
No. Oh god. Pulp Fiction.
Yes.
The crime boss. The actor.
Oh, okay. Wow. I'm
pretty
sure it was terrible.
Pretty sure he did a Kojak.
Right. I had no idea. I had no idea that was a thing.
But I mean, they've done. They've got like Matlock, which they gender bent for some reason.
Well, like as long as they never try to do Columbo, it's fine.
Oh, that would be
without Peter Falk, you just forget it. You forget it.
Who the hell would you get to replace Peter Falk?
No one. There is no one. There is no one. I mean, I would argue it's hard to replace Telly Savalas.
Yeah.
Or Lansbury,
I mean,
really.
Said
but,
that, I would have said the idea of fucking replacing John Thor as Morse would be.
That's true.
But Endeavour is actually a pretty good show.
Yeah.
I mean, at least they, it was supposed to be him, the younger.
Yes.
Morse, but most of the time those things do not fucking work. And I honestly can't see anybody other than Angela Lansbury as Jessica Fletcher.
No, but I am weirdly intrigued now.
Yeah.
Not in a I want to watch that movie kind of way, more in a how does this turn out kind of way. I want to see the trailer. That's what I want. I want to see the trailer. Cool. Is there anything else?
I think that's it.
Yeah. Well, let's leave on the bombshell of Murder, She Wrote. And we will be back next week with our review of Clerks.
Indeed.
Yes. Surprised we haven't done it before, but here we are. We're going to be back next week with Clerks. Until then, stay safe, take care, and we will catch you next time.